Hi guys, now that the Ragnarok map has got the desert area, I think it's time to revisit an earlier video that I did, and that was where you can find the vanilla arc resources on here. So I'm going to go through them in order, and it's anywhere that's safe and you can get a load of resources, or anywhere that I think it's a reasonable risk to get the resources. Also, I'm not going to be telling where to get metal and obsidian because you will find them everywhere, and there are some resources that it's better to get underwater. It's kind of hard for me to sit there and give you coordinates for that one because it's going to be hard for you to see it, but I'll give you a general area where to find them. Okay, so I'm going to start with crystal. The first and best place I think to find lots of crystal is where I'm looking at here. Now this is really good because most people start in Viking Bay or just off of the jungle, and this is in that area. So this is at 20.3 by 25.7. And if we go down here, what you're going to be able to see is there is these massive crystal deposits around here, and you're not really dealing with anything particularly nasty. As you see, there's loads of these here, which are great to collect by hand, but even better with an Anki. And the way you get here, as you saw up there, is you've got the lake over there in the jungle area, and over there is the blue obelisk, and you're just looking for this river between them, basically. On the other side of this cliff face, there is also another smaller deposit. So if you're on the lake here, you often do find spinos in this lake. There's a little river that comes off of here, and if you go over there, in this waterfall over here, you're going to find a few crystal deposits. So we'll go in here, and once again, it is the massive crystal deposits. You see, there's a couple of them there. 3, I think in total, yeah. So just if you're looking for some and that one's been used, this is somewhere you can get some as well. The next place is moderately dangerous because there are Tyrannosauruses around and there's other carnivores or aggressive creatures. Now this is up on the mountain just behind Viking Bay, so we've got Viking Bay over there, and up there is where we're going. 29.6 by 33.9. If you aim for that area, it will take you up where you have a choice of your entrances. So we're going to go forwards here. And once you've made it up here, you can either go to the left over there, over here, or where you see the sort of frozen lake here, you can go in through here. And there are crystal deposits in here, and there's a particularly good one. So I'm coming in through the ice lake here, and you're going to see 1 or 2 crystal deposits around. So let's just sort of fly in here. As you can see over there in front of us, there is a crystal deposit. Let's pull up, there we go, so you can see it a little bit closer. That's what they look like. And then on this side here, there's one here. There's a couple here, and then there's a pathway where you can go through here, and there's an absolute ton of it. Oh, there's another couple there. And if you go up here, there you go. There's a load of crystal if you go up through this pathway here. And this actually leads up to the back entrance up here, which is, if we go up here, as you see, little safe place to go in there if you want to come up from this side. And the location of this is at 30.9, 35.7. But to be perfectly honest, you know, if you're coming up here, you might as well just go for the main entrance. This next place is in the middle of the canyons. It's at 39.0, 45.2. And what you're looking for is basically this ahead of me here. And at the top of here, there is a little pool that actually goes really deep, and there's a load of crystal in there. So I'm just going to land. Now, as you can see, I've got my scuba gear on because you're going to want that. And we just dive into here. As you can see, there's an absolute mother load of crystal in here. And there's even more if we go further down. Oh god, that's not good. Good thing is I put on infinite stats to do this video. Right, okay, so as you can see, there's lots of crystal there. The best of 2 deposits in the northern part of the desert is this waterfall that I'm looking at here. This is at 55.0 by 56.5, and that is the river that leads off of the opposite side of the really cold mountain. So that's the green obelisk over there. If you go over the green obelisk towards the desert, you'll see it as a river, and it leads to this waterfall here. You can also find it by the sort of the junction of the northern mountains of the desert and the northern part of the canyon. They will lead you to this waterfall here. I'm just going to go towards it. And you can either fly in here, or these 2 sides here will lead you through this waterfall. It's kind of like a bat cave in here. It's pretty damn awesome. As you can see, there's an absolute ton of crystal in here. This next one in the northern part of the desert is another hidden one. It's not quite as good as the waterfall. Just off the northern edge of the canyon and sort of between the waterfall and that, at 57 by 59.6, you will see this sort of crack in the canyon here, and there's multiple ways you can get down into here. There's entrances from all around, and if you go into this canyon area, you'll find loads of crystal under here. So let's go under here. And you could get in here by foot, as you can see. There's all these different entrances. And just basically, if you explore all around inside of here, you will find a load of crystal. Let's go through here as well. And if you sort of come up from the southern side, there's also more crystal deposits. In the southeastern part of the desert, right near the coast, there are two really good places for you to get crystal. The first of these is probably the easiest for you to locate just by eye. It's southeast from the southernmost sort of ruins. You can see them over there. But if you look for this big oasis on the southern coast and you go to 76.5 by 81.2, that will take you directly to the first of these drops, and then the second one is easy to find from that. So once you're there at the oasis, as you can see, this is the first drop over here. Should be fairly easy for you to find. So once you get into the area, you'll see it, and there is quite a lot of crystal in here. The second of the drops in this really rocky area is at 78.1 by 78.1, and it is just off from the first one there, which is, if you look up there, there's kind of this valley that leads up, kind of an ominous looking cave up there, and as you go towards it, you're going to see there's an absolute ton of crystal in here. Both of these are in a relatively safe area for the creatures you're going to have to deal with, but I would say that you are verging onto Giga territory, so just be careful. You might find Gigas around here, and if they've wandered, they may wander into this area. So in general, very safe area. You've just got to deal with vultures and those mantises. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. But just be aware that Gigas do spawn in that desert area over there. The last of the really good crystal deposits that I know of is in the southwestern part of the desert. So it's the central southern part of the map. And just going west of the river, there's a set of canyons around here. The entrance to what we're looking for is 85.8 by 51.1. But if you're coming into the canyons, the easiest way to find this area is to look for the river. Now there is this little area here, as you can see, with a waterfall. There's a couple of little bits of crystal in there, but if you find the river here that actually runs through the canyon and you just follow it backwards, that will lead you to the crystal. And this is the entrance to the area here. You'll see the crystals as soon as you get to it, basically. You'll see it around, and once you're in here, if you actually turn to the right just inside, there's a load of crystal in there. As you can see, all around inside of here, there is quite a lot of crystal. Probably one of the best places to actually get crystal. Right, so now that is all of the good crystal deposits. Now it's time to move on to oil. Unfortunately, on Ragnarok, there aren't many places you can actually harvest oil rocks by hand. There are wells and there are ways for you to do it renewably. So, for example, with Basilosaurus or with dung beetles. But the only place that I'm aware of that has a lot of oil rocks above ground, or above water, I should say, is in the ice cave and the back of the ice cave. So just as where we went for the crystal at 29.6, there we go, by 33.9, if you go to there, you'll find the entrance to the same cave that we found the crystal in. And I'm going to enter the cave in the same place here, as you can see, and already there is an oil rock there. And if we go through here, you see there's some over there if you would go to the right when you enter from the sort of ice lake. But if you follow around to the left, there's also a ton more. So as you can see, there's some here and round this corner here. If you come in, say, through the middle entrance, there's a little sort of area there with tons of them. And if you would go off to the left-hand side, there's even more around here. So there's quite a lot in here. The second place for you to get loads of oil, well, I say loads, a few oil deposits, is over the back of that mountain just off of Viking's Bay. This one, I would say you want to go for 35.4 by 38. Now, I'm actually looking at it here. because an easy way to find it is if you come over the back of that mountain, or you're coming for the green obelisk, you're looking for this bridge and also this waterfall here. That's a good way to find it. Where the forest sort of comes up to the back of here, we're going to see a kind of a covered trench. That's where you're going to find the oil. Now, just as with the ice cave, over the back here, it is quite dangerous. For example, there's a Tyrannosaurus down there. We're just going to go charging down underneath here. So as you can see, there's this sort of gap under the rocks here. And once you get in here, you will find 1 or 2 oil deposits. I think there's probably about 6 in total. Let's see, there's 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. I can't see any more off the top of my head. Don't generally tend to come to this one. Right, so that is the only places that are kind of overland where you're going to find a lot of oil. If you're not willing to, say, for example, go and tame some basilosauruses or dung beetles, whatever you're going to do, and you don't want to use a oil well to do it, or an oil pump, whatever it's called, there are quite a few places underwater to find it. Now, if you want safe-ish places to do this, or places that, say, don't go really deep to where the mosasauruses are, etc., inside Vikings Bay, there's a fair few in there. Just be careful if you're going around where the ship is. You do have those creatures that will stun you under the water. So you probably want to use a Basilosaurus for that. Also, in the westernmost river, just in the entrance of the bay, in the desert area, there is actually about 6 or 7 really shallow oil deposits that you can go in there. So as long as you can kill mantas and sharks, you'll be good in there. Now, directly off of the north of Vikings Bay, if you go also sort of curving a little bit round towards the blue obelisk, you'll find a lot there. You'll find a lot off of the east coast of the Highlands. You'll find absolutely a ton of them off of the east of the red obelisk. And all along the southern coast where you would go into the desert, there is loads of them in the deep water there. Now, if you're willing to go really dangerous area, all along the western coast of the map, really deep down, where you would find one of the down there where you find loads of the giant squids. That's the word I'm looking for. If you go underneath there, you'll find lots of oil down underneath there. Obviously, however you want to do it, but personally, I like to just go for the lighter, higher deposits, I should say, using a Basilosaurus. When it comes to silica pearls, I think probably the absolutely best place, if you're not willing to kind of go deep underwater or anything like that, is just off of the northeast of Vikings Bay, centered around 13.5 by 42. What you're looking for is this big rocky area here. It's where I have my base. So I'm just going to set this to a later time of day so you can see what's going on. And as you can see, all around here, there is absolutely loads of them in the water. So I'm just going to go into K mode. There we go. And there we go, we can see them all in the water here. And basically, if you just follow all of this rocky area around to where the volcano is, you'll find them in the water here. The good thing about this area is that if you don't have scuba gear, or if you don't particularly want to go for a long journey underwater, you'll find them in here, and you'll be able to go back to shallow water if there's sharks or mantas, basically. There's also a fair few silica pearls in the canyon area, although around here there are Boronixes and Spinos. But if you're willing to deal with them, you will find them all in this canyon area. But if you need just a little cluster of them really quickly, over the back of Vikings Bay, where this bridge is and leading over to the green obelisk, directly under that bridge, there's a load of silica pearls. So a location for that is 39.5 by 38.5. And I'm going to set it to night time. You'll be able to see that you don't actually get many nasties spawning directly there. So you would be able to jump in the water, grab some and jump back out really quickly. So as you can see here, there's quite a few silica pearls under here. Not anywhere near as many as, say, the north coast. But if you need some and you're around the canyon area, you could grab these. And they'd probably suffice for anything other than a massive project. The last place where you're going to find them on the coast, and I think relatively easily, is where I am here, which is just off of, well, just south of the western swamp area. I'm at 51.1 by 19.6, And this coast area here, all the way up the western side of this coast, you're going to find a load of silica pearls. Now these ones will be deeper than both of the other areas, and you are going to be dealing with a few nasties, but there's nothing really terrible to deal with, so any decent creature that you feel comfortable in the water with should be able to deal with this, and you'll be able to get yourself a load of silica pearls. So once again, I'm just going to go into night time to give you a flyby of it so you can get an idea. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of them in the water here. They're just a little bit hard to see. So I'm going to go as close to the water as there. There we go. And then we'll aim over there. And I will go into K mode. As you see, they are under... Someone's being cheeky. But there's quite a few of them under the water here. Every time I fly up, and that extends all the way up there. It's just you have to kind of go deeper, as you can see in the water there. There you go. There's a little bit deeper down, and you just want to be able to deal with anything in the water. The last place that's absolutely fantastic for getting silica pearls is actually in Viking Bay, but you may not be aware that it's there. So in the middle of the bay there is this rock with a plank on top of it. And you can just about see under the water over there that is where the shipwreck is. So that's where those nasty things are. But you don't have to go there. And you could bring a water creature here, obviously. But if you've just got some scuba gear, you can actually drop directly into this place if you're willing to deal with some nasty. So if you've got a decent sword or crossbow, there will be mantas under here and there might be a shark. But once you actually get into the tunnel that I'm going to show you, not a problem. So that board there is at 21.9 by 33.3. And once you're on top of here, now I haven't got scuba gear on because I'm in infinite stats. Once you're just going to drop off of here. There we go. So that is a shipwreck over there. This big rock here. And you can't really see it, but this is actually a canyon we can go under. And I'm just going to go underneath here. I'm just going to follow this through. And once it starts getting dark and you follow through this tunnel, you'll find a load of silica pearls. Right, so I've just got into the point where it's starting to get a little bit darker and you can actually see the amount of silica pearls that are in here. And this actually continues all the way through here. Now, this does actually go into the dungeon / cave where you find two of the artifacts. And that's the one that's underneath the castle. So if you go into a really dark area, just be aware that you're probably going into a dungeon, and just keep an eye on the direction you're going. So basically, if you go as far as this goes to the point where it splits off, you're probably going to have more enough silica pearls than you need. Just be aware of the direction you've actually gone there. Now that is the last of the places that I think that are really good and easy to get silica pearls from. The last two vanilla resources I'm actually going to lump together. That is rare flowers and the rare mushrooms. Now, if you actually want to go and collect either of them individually, what I would say is for the rare mushrooms, just go to either of the swamp places, take a tickle chicken with you or Therizinosaurus, or just take anything that will keep you safe and smack trees with either a pickaxe or a sword. You will get yourself a load of rare mushrooms. For the rare flowers, if you just travel anywhere around the jungle area, you will find clumps of them, especially along the coast. If you tend to look up the little cliffy areas, you'll find them around there. Also, where you found the crystal, that canyon, the crystal canyon in the southern part of the desert or southwestern part of the desert, you'll find a load of them in there. But the absolute best place for both of these, and where you're going to get cementing paste, is in the Beaver Sanctuary. The Beaver Sanctuary is at 24.5 by 44.0. That will take you to the centre of it, and it's quite easy to find by eye. You've got the castle over there near Vikings Bay, you've got the mountain behind that, and over there you've got the volcano. And what you're looking for is these two lakes in the middle. Now the reason this place is particularly good is A, you have absolutely tons of beavers here, like more than I've ever seen on any other map. And what you've got around here is you've got the regular beaver dams, but these things here are giant beaver dams, and they give you a load of stuff as well. You get your cementing paste, your silica pearls, you'll also get obviously your rare flowers and your rare mushrooms. And on the little sort of areas that are leading down into the second lake here, these things are also beaver dams. And this is honestly where I would go to get rare flowers and rare mushrooms. And if you're not willing to go in the water, you'll get enough silica pearls to do most stuff here as well. You get a load of these dams around here as well. And yeah, and just as a side note, down there in that river is a good place to find otters. Right guys, so I think that is the end of all of the vanilla resources. I'm going to redo the Scorched Earth one now that the desert is done. I just didn't want this video to go on too long. Hopefully this is easier to find things than my original video. Took the criticism on that. Hopefully this is an improvement. I hope this helps you out, whether or not you're starting, or, you know, maybe just some resources you didn't know that were there. Hope you find it useful. Have fun guys. Catch you all soon. Bye.